Right now at 5, a suspect in a Northside shooting this month is heading to trial. Plus, how Elon Musk plans to give away millions to Wisconsin voters ahead of the Supreme Court race.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 5. I'm Ken Kozorowski. A suspect in a Northside La Crosse shooting is bound over for trial. The court today entering a not guilty plea for 19-year-old Jason Moran, who stood mute. According to the criminal complaint, Moran shot a victim in the arm during a planned fight March 9th on Logan Street. Moran's bond has been lowered a second time, now to $50,000 cash. 2 other teens face charges. A former kitchen worker is accused of sexually assaulting a Vernon County jail inmate. The sheriff's office arrested 32-year-old Amanda Bjornstad yesterday. She's accused of having sexual contact with an inmate while working for the detention center's food service vendor. Bjornstad faces potential charges of second-degree sexual assault and criminal threats. Her signature bond is $10,000. She's held for a separate conviction in Richland County. I-94 back open after a fire caused an early morning shutdown. A fire involving a semi broke out around 5 this morning, and it closed both directions of the stretch between US 12 and County Road O in Jackson County. All lanes have now reopened to traffic. La Crosse firefighters quickly contained a house fire yesterday afternoon. Crews responded to a structure fire on the 900 block of Adams Street around 2:30. Officials say the lone resident escaped and was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word yet on the cause of the fire. The Red Cross is assisting the displaced family. State Senator Brad Pfaff introducing legislation to improve housing access and affordability in the state. The bill would prevent hedge funds from buying single-family homes. Pfaff argues corporate buyers drive up housing costs, making it harder for working families to afford homes.
We need to have more housing stock in this state and in this area. We also recognize the fact with so little housing stock that we have, the availability of what we have is very expensive.
Now, the bill would only apply to future home purchases and wouldn't affect properties that have already been sold. The measure does not yet have Republican co-sponsors. Billionaire Elon Musk says he plans to personally deliver million-dollar checks to Wisconsin voters. Musk's Political Action Committee has already spent over $20 million supporting the conservative candidate for Supreme Court, Brad Schimmel. Musk initially wrote on X that he would host a talk Sunday for people who have voted in that Supreme Court race. He then deleted that and wrote people who have signed his petition to oppose, quote, activist judges will be welcome to the talk. He added that the million-dollar checks will go to people who will be spokesmen for that petition. Now, the state attorney general has filed a suit to block those payments. Well, as advertised, you really couldn't have asked for a better Friday temperature-wise, conditions-wise, but Nicole, it's going to be short-lived, apparently.
Yeah, I really hope that everybody got a chance to get out there and enjoy it today, because we don't really have the same conditions coming this weekend. Some of us did get those lucky warm temperatures today, but a couple of us got just a little bit short of that. Eau Claire sitting at 54 right now. I was really hoping that we could get that warm front just to get a little bit further. But of course, it's stalled out just south of Eau Claire, leading to some extra cloud coverage over the city. So not quite getting to those extremely warm temperatures today, but everybody else really saw it. You can see just how close that warmth line was to Eau Claire, right on the edge of it. Unfortunate, but it's just the beginning of spring, so we definitely have more 80-degree days to come, but it's not going to be in the near future. 84 for that high in La Crosse. Still overall, everyone getting above normal today, but the folks that saw those record highs over 30 degrees above normal for those high temperatures. Broke the record high in La Crosse, previously 88 in 1986. You can see Eau Claire did fall quite shy of that because that dang warm front did not want to make it that much further north. We do have some more activity coming on later tonight. Not really seeing a lot out there yet, but we could see some storms starting to fire in the next few hours or so. We did have a warning that actually passed through Duluth just a couple minutes ago for some hail, but you can see on radar there's actually some sleet mixed in that. So good old-fashioned spring storm weather is upon us. We could see some of that later this evening, so I'll break it all down with all the details and details on the wet weekend to come in my full forecast.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Nicole. And a reminder, everyone, you can always track weather on your block by downloading our First Warn weather app. You can find it on the App Store or on Google Play. President Trump was focused on America's northern allies today, sending his VP to Greenland while also talking with Canada's new Prime Minister about tariffs. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance arrived to sub-zero temperatures in Greenland Friday as they toured a U.S. Space Force base.
It's cold as here. Nobody told me.
The vice president's visit comes as President Trump pushes for a U.S. takeover of the semi-autonomous Danish territory. Greenland and Danish leaders have called the visit a provocation.
Our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. That has to change. And because it hasn't changed, this is why President Trump's policy in Greenland is what it is.
President Trump wants greater access to Greenland's abundant mineral, oil, and natural gas wealth. And in the Oval Office Friday, he said the island is essential to U.S. national security.
We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't.
President Trump has also pushed for Canada to join the U.S. as the 51st state. Friday, he spoke with Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, for the first time. Trump says he believes the U.S. and Canada can strike a fair trade deal, though Carney said Canada will implement retaliatory tariffs.
We had a very good talk, the Prime Minister and myself, and I think things are going to work out very well between Canada and the United States.
The president also announced he wants Congress to pass a law allowing Americans to write off the interest on new car purchases if the vehicles are built in America. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
A USDA pause on an emergency food assistance program has local food pantries concerned. Wafer in La Crosse says they're worried about proposed cuts to programs that they currently participate in. Some of the proposed cuts include government commodities, which includes receiving pasta, cereal, canned meats, and more.
I'm hopeful that our representatives, our legislators, they're all going to speak up to the importance of these program funds. There's a lot of people that rely on the services that we provide in food pantries across the state. And this funding is critical to ensure that people have enough to eat and that they have good quality food.
Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin and more than 20 members of the Senate co-signed a letter urging the Trump administration to reverse course. VARC is celebrating 50 years of serving people with disabilities. The nonprofit organization marking that half-century milestone today launched in 1975 with just 6 clients in a local church. The nonprofit now serves nearly 1,000 individuals in 13 locations statewide, offering employment opportunities, day services, and community programs. The director of client services says it's a rewarding place to be.
That constant reminder of, why I do what I do. And truly my favorite part is just the smiles, the fist bumps, the high fives that I get from clients every day.
The celebration today included an employee pizza lunch and special anniversary t-shirts. Still to come, how the recent D.C. plane crash is creating some updated safety standards. Plus, a devastating earthquake hitting southeastern Asia. We'll be right back. A powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake rattled Southeast Asia earlier today. The quake was centered across the border in Myanmar near the country's second largest city, reducing structures to rubble. Both Myanmar and Thailand have declared states of emergency as residents deal with the disaster and brace for potential aftershocks. The FAA is requiring a new safety measure after the deadly mid-air collision at Washington, D.C.'s Reagan Airport. A system that broadcasts an aircraft's position will now be required to be activated around the airport. The FAA's acting administrator was in the hot seat on Capitol Hill, being questioned about how safe flying really is.
I'm saying our air traffic system needs modernization. I can assure you the flying public to fly is safe.
The NTSB says they've identified at least 85 extreme close calls at the same D.C. area airport over the last 3 years. King Charles was hospitalized after his scheduled cancer treatments. The King experienced temporary side effects from the treatment, requiring him to visit the hospital. He has returned to his home, but his events for the day were canceled, including a trip north to Birmingham. His next overseas trip with the Queen is still on for now. We will have more news ahead, but first.
If you have any weekend plans, you're definitely going to want to pay attention. Multiple chances for snow, rain, and even ice coming up throughout the weekend. I'll have a full look at it coming up right after the break. We have a busy weekend ahead of us in the weather world. Multiple risks as far as rain, snow, and even some hail possible tonight. So let's start it all off. Starting with tonight, we're not seeing a lot out there right now as we saw on radar earlier, but there is going to be a boundary passing through that's going to pop up some storms pretty quickly. Very low severe risk. This is mainly going to be showers, but there is that chance for some thunderstorms to form within this line. As you can see, more moderate rainfall rates within it. We're also seeing the chance for some small hail to be forming throughout that as well. This will be happening throughout the evening, quickly moves out of the area, or at least lessens for us as we go later into those evening hours, and then quickly moves out as we go after midnight. Then a cold front passes through and we'll see those temperatures drop off pretty quickly. Just a couple hours before this, La Crosse was sitting at around 65 degrees around that midnight hour, and then when you're waking up tomorrow morning, going to be at 44, and that high temperature is probably going to be reached around that midnight hour as temperatures continue to fall throughout most of the day tomorrow, with some extended cloud coverage before more rain moves into the area tomorrow afternoon. So here's our thunderstorm outlook for tonight, just sitting at a marginal risk for severe weather, which is a level 1 out of 5. Again, that main risk is going to be that hail. Not even really seeing a large risk for large hail, so to say, but there is that risk for some small hail out there, especially if we get those thunderstorms to pop up, and then a little bit of a smaller risk for a localized higher wind gust within those thunderstorms as well. Moving into the weekend, then, a lot could happen as far as precipitation type over Saturday and going even into Monday morning. So here we are starting Saturday morning. That cold front passes through, possibly giving some scattered showers throughout the morning hours. We're really going to see that become more of a steady, somewhat more widespread rain. There we go as we go into the afternoon hours. As you can see, it's not really spreading over the entirety of the area. So the good news is it's not going to be a total washout. Not everyone will be seeing rain or snow 100% of the time, but we will be seeing rain chances on and off again consistently throughout the entirety of the weekend. As we go later into Saturday night, that's when it can get a little bit interesting. We might see some ice or sleet starting to mix up, especially north of I-94 throughout Saturday night and even continuing on into early Sunday morning. Otherwise, most of us should be seeing mainly rain, possibly getting a little bit of a wintry mixing in there. As we go later into the day Sunday, just some light showers, then a lot of those more moderate rainfall rates happening on Saturday, and then late Sunday evening continuing to see those temperatures starting to fall. That's when we can start to see some snow mixing in. Not really seeing a lot of it. As you can see, that line passes through and it's pretty narrow, so we could just pick up a late dusting, but then we can finally start to see the clouds moving out as we go into early Monday morning, possibly seeing some sunshine to start the week off after what looks to be a fairly gloomy weekend. Here's that ice potential. This is for Saturday night. These green colors showing more of a possible, maybe a little bit unlikely chance that main ice risk really staying north of I-94 and a little bit into central Wisconsin as well. So definitely something to pay attention to if you have any travel plans this weekend. Roads could get a little bit dicey for our friends to the north. As far as rainfall goes, looking at a good healthy dosage of it, anywhere from three quarters of an inch to possibly 1.5 inches for some folks, some isolated amounts. As for snow, we're going to get lucky. A lot of that heavier stuff is really staying off to our north because we get some of that mix and ice closer to our area. But then once that small band passes through Monday, we could get a dusting, maybe 1 inch or 2 on the ground out there when you're waking up Monday morning, with some more snow happening as we go towards the middle of the week. We'll get a brief break from all the precipitation as we go into Monday evening and into Tuesday, but then snow starts to come back again as we go into Tuesday night and into Wednesday as well. Some more rain, maybe mixing in on a Wednesday, and then if we do get any snow, it hopefully shouldn't last for too long because those temperatures will be back to near normal in the low 50s. Okay. So a little bit of a busy weekend, maybe a good one to stay inside and spend some basketball or spend some time watching basketball like we said. Yeah,
sounds like a good plan. Thanks, Nicole. Still to come tonight, how the town of Scranton, Pennsylvania is once again leaning into its ties to The Office.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
Fans of TV's The Office may want to swing by Scranton, Pennsylvania on April 7th. The city is finally getting its own Chili's. Fans of The Office may recall that Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell, loved Chili's, which was featured in several episodes. Until now, the real-life Scranton never had a Chili's. And I don't know about the rest of you, but maybe the full cast could go there April 7th and reenact a Dundies Award ceremony. Food for thought, like life imitating art right here. We'll have another look at your messy weekend forecast right after this.
We have an active weekend ahead of us. Here's a quick breakdown of the timeline. Saturday, looking to see mainly scattered showers. Could see a thunderstorm or two popping up, though, during the day. Saturday night, a lot of that could turn to sleet and some ice for some of us north of I-94. And then Sunday, seeing some less rain, but some of that could be turning into snow later on in the evening. And if we don't get a lot of snow on Sunday night, then we're definitely going to see some more going into Tuesday and Wednesday. But that's a problem for future us. We got to get through this weekend first. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I like those gloomier, wetter days.
Oh,
it's
wow.
relaxing, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure some people agree with you.
So, but today was good too. Yeah.
Yes, we'll take this one. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.